Should you rotate on your heel on the backhand shot? Today, that is the question we're going to try and answer. Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the video sponsors. Power Grip USA, you can use my code Iceberg10 to save 10% on anything on the website. My other sponsor, Bergs, discsports.com. You can use my code ICE20 to save 20% on anything over at their website. Let's get into the video. So today we're going to be talking about the plant foot and if you should or should not be rotating on your heel. This is something that I've actually never done before, and it's something that we're going to give a try for the very first time today. But when I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And why it makes sense, if my weight is on my toe when I'm throwing a backhand, I'm going to be a lot more likely to have a bent knee. And I think if you have a bent knee, you're not going to be able to get nearly as firm and strong of a plant than if you're loading that heel. It's going to promote this leg being a lot straighter, allow you to have a much stronger plant, something to press against, and really load that hip, create tension, and power through your shot. Now, I've actually never thrown a backhand and intentionally and deliberately planted on my heel. So that's exactly what we're going to try today. We're going to give a couple of mids a try. Then we're going to throw some fairway drivers and some distance drivers to see how it goes. But this is something I saw Cal Longquist do it on Instagram, and it inspired me to go watch Simon, Drew Gibson, Calvin Heimberg. I was looking at basically everybody that throws far, and everybody that throws far pretty much has their weight start either on their heel or on their midfoot. But when they explode through that shot and follow through, their weight definitely shifts to their heel, which as I'm doing it, I can already tell is going to promote me having a straight leg and a much firmer plant than when I was on my toe or my midfoot. And what I just saw there is something that's interesting, and it never fully made sense to me, but I notice a lot of people when they throw backhand, again, these distance throwers, they almost throw and then pop off the ground. And that's not something I've ever just have happen really naturally before, but it just naturally happened right there. And I'm not saying this is the right or the wrong way to do things. We're just experimenting today. Let's stable up. We got an Orion LF, very similar stability to a Thunderbird. Ooh, that felt good. I've never gotten that disc to fly that far. Okay, that felt good. That felt very good. All right, we're gonna throw my last disc, the Latitude 64 Strive. Then we'll go gather everything and throw a few more shots back now that I'm starting to get used to it. When I do it right, it definitely works. That was a crush. Oh, I just went all the way past that green and it skipped all the way past it. I've never done that before. Based on that alone, I think this works because I've thrown a ton of shots from exactly right here, and I've never gotten a disc to actually go clean over the green. Let's go grab the discs, throw a few more shots, and we'll come back the other way. All right, so I've thrown many of thousands of backhands from that spot right there. And my goal is always to get it. If I can throw it onto the tee box up there, it means it's a crush for me. Again, it's not that far of a throw. It's right around 400-ish. But what that Strive just did is something that I've actually never been able to do before with the backhand. I've had forehands skip off and go clean past, but I've never in my life, and I've lived here for about a year now and lived where this golf course is, I've never been able to put a disc from that flag there to this green, like beyond it over here with the backhand. So that instills a lot of confidence, and I think there definitely is something to this. I think when you roll your weight from your toe to your heel, I think it encourages a really, really powerful plant, and it really gives you an opportunity to press your leg into the earth and stop yourself from moving forward, and actually using the whole point of the run up is to stop and use that stored momentum to launch the disc forward. So I think this is going to be a really useful tool as I continue to figure it out. So this Orion LF shot instilled a lot of confidence in me. because I've really only been able to get distance drivers or really flippy discs onto the green here. But if we walk a bit farther up here, we can see the strive. Not only did I not even land on this huge tee box here, we landed about 12 feet beyond the end of it, which is definitely something I've never done before. All right, I wasn't sold in the beginning, but now I'm sold. I definitely think there's something to this. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh. Also off the used bin, we got this absolute beauty of a star orc, old pen guy. Absolutely gross, swirly star orc. Oh, there it is. When I hit that weight transfer just right, they freaking go, man. That was a laser beam. I'm definitely not getting it every time, but when I do get it, I get that weight transfer and that plant, boom, they really go. I'm really feeling that power coming from this. The one biggest issue with this is I already find myself feeling a propensity to slip, and I'm feeling my plant foot as I throw, like, move. But when all these power throwers are throwing their max distance shots, it's actually something that seems pretty calm, is that once they release and they throw, that plant foot almost like rips off the ground for some of these guys. All right, let's see if we can replicate that strive drive again. Come on. I think I did it again. That's a bomb, dude. And I usually don't try to tell you guys, you know, what's right and what's wrong per se. What I like to do is take you guys along in my development as a disc golfer. I think the way that I think about things is probably relatable for the way a lot of you guys think about things. I try to be pretty analytical. I try to kind of look into some of those more minute details, maybe explain them in a way that they've never been explained to you before. My mind works differently than a lot of people, but I think there's a lot of people that think about things in the same way that I do. And I think when it comes to, if your plant sucks and you want it to be better, this is definitely something worth trying. There's definitely going to be a learning curve here. I'm definitely mixing in some really terrible throws with some really awesome throws. But with that being said, I'm definitely feeling like I've unlocked just out here today, like 30 to 50 feet of distance with those two strive shots. Again, going clean past the golf green over here on a backhand, which I may have done with a super lightweight disc or some like crazy flippy thing. And then I also put it past this tee box over here, which is something I can confirm I've definitely never done before with a backhand. We've increased my skill ceiling as long as I can execute. And to learn to execute, it's just going to boil down to putting in the work and continuing to practice and get better at it. This is something that I'm going to continue to try and utilize and work on. And I think it might be something worth practicing and working on for you guys as well. And I'm curious to see if in the comments below, if this is something that's helping people, it makes sense for people, or if you guys think it's just nonsense. This is definitely going to be a thing that's going to be hard for me to get used to. But I already saw immediate results my first time trying it. So I think after a week or two of really trying to drive my weight into my heel and plant through my heel, I really feel like it's going to almost immediately add some distance to my backhand, which is something that I've been searching for a long time. And with that being said, I do think it's something that you guys should try, in particular if you have a really hard time with your plant foot on your backhand, because when we move that weight onto the heel, it really helps get those hips going, helps you have a nice, strong plant. It makes it a lot easier to plant when you're driving through your heel. I'm not exactly sure why, but planting is always something that I've had a hard time with on the backhand. And I think it's because when I was on my toe, my knee would always be slightly bent. But when you go onto your heel, it almost forces your leg straight, especially if you really exaggerate it and get the toe up. I'm not sure if this is technically the right or wrong way to do it, but I kind of like to overcorrect when I'm trying something new just to really see if it works or doesn't work. But when I get this weight shift onto the heel, it gets that leg straight and just feels so strong and confident. I actually feel like pretty much for the first time that I can like really plant and like really drive into that shot, which is something I'm not used to. So it's going to take some getting used to. My release point's going to change a little bit, but I definitely think it's something worth trying for you guys as well. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Check out my sponsors, Power Grip USA, Iceberg 10% off, free shipping on orders over $40, bergsdiscsports.com. You can get this nice minty V4. You can save over $40 on this bad boy by using my discount code ICE20. I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care.